Have you ever heard the expression to sleep like a baby? Now, I can't be sure, but I think that a husband came up with that expression. You know the husband that the minute that his head hits the pillow, he falls asleep in 30 seconds? And it doesn't matter if there's like World War III outside, he will not wake up. And so he wakes up in the morning, he stretches, and he looks at his wife and says, "Oh my God, the baby slept so well." And she's laying there with bruises from the baby pinching her all night and maybe feeding off of her all night with black circles under her eyes, thinking, what universe are you coming out of? My name is Samantha, and I am a registered nurse clinician, a sleep and parenting consultant at bebaby. And what we do at bebaby is help exhausted and overwhelmed mothers finally get the sleep that they need and their children need, simplify their daily lives, get the guidance and the support that they need in their parenting journeys so that they can finally stop surviving and actually start thriving. So I think that for most moms, including myself, the dream is not to sleep like a baby. It's truly to sleep like my husband. As a business owner, as a mother of 4 children under the age of 5, good sleep for me is not a nice to have. It's not a luxury, it's a non-negotiable. There is no way I would be able to do what I do every single day if I wasn't, getting quality sleep. The truth is that the expectations on mothers have gone to an all-time high, but the support from mothers is now at an all-time low. Within 24 to 48 hours of giving birth, mothers are basically kicked out of hospitals, given this tiny little human being that has all of these needs, except there's no manual, there's no resources, there's really no clear-cut path to being a parent. And so a lot of mothers end up being home alone with their children, awake at 3 in the morning, trying to feed their baby back to sleep. It's the 4th time that that baby has woken up, and maybe they have cracked and bleeding nipples, and they're nauseous. They feel absolutely terrible. And I mean, tell me if this is the truth for you, but have you ever thought in that moment, what am I doing wrong? What do I not know that all these other mothers seem to know? And then sometimes even, am I cut out to be a mom? And you think in that moment that you are the only mother who has felt this way or who has had these questions, but the reality is you're not alone. The vast majority of mothers have felt this way at some given point. They have had these same questions. And the truth is, you're not supposed to know everything. You're not supposed to just give birth and then some sort of gene lights up that all of a sudden downloads all of the necessary information to be a mother in your brain and you just know everything from day one. That's not how it happens. And the way that we see it, to build a happy family is kind of like building a home. And when you're building a home, you need a few key factors. You need a foundation, you need walls, you need furniture inside of it, and you need a roof. And so the foundational part of it is foundations for children's sleep. So healthy foundations for sleep, understanding the physiology of your child's sleep. Why is it that they don't want to sleep when they need to sleep the most? Schedules and routines, but in a flexible manner that actually works in everyday life. Understanding sleep regressions and leaps and all of these developmental milestones that affect sleep. And then understanding how health impacts sleep and how sleep impacts health, on which you can then lay a customized sleep plan, which is the walls of your home. If you think about it this way, if you try building a house and you put the walls of your house straight on the ground with no foundation, what's going to happen? It's going to start raining, the ground is going to move, the walls are going to fall, and the results that you were creating for yourself aren't just not going to last. And then what goes inside of your house is what really makes it a home, right? It's your furniture, your personal touches. Well, for us, that's your physical health, so your nutritional health and that of your children, the development of your children, your mental and emotional health, your financial health, the guidance that you need in your everyday life. And then finally, your roof is your marriage, because it doesn't matter how beautiful your house is. If you have a leaky roof and a storm comes by, everything is going to get wet. And so that's how we build the Peace of Mind Parenting approach, or the program, because we want to give you 100% sleep success, which we have, but we want it to last. We don't want it to be a temporary solution. Parents often ask me, what is the success to sleep education? Why is it that we have a 100% success rate? And there's a lot of key factors to that are built into our program, but there's 3 major keys to sleep training success that every parent can follow as well. And the first one is customization. Every child is different, and there is no one-size-fits-all perfect sleep solution that's going to work for every child, because if that were the case, we would film one video, give you a PDF, give it for free, and everybody would have access to it, and there would not be a sleepless, mother anywhere in the world. But the reality is every child is different. And so one of the things that we do that is so completely different is identify the sleep disruptors. Why is this child not sleeping? There's usually multiple different reasons why. And until you've identified the specific reasons behind the sleep issues of that child, nothing you do is really going to have the results that you want. And then there's other factors, there's health and developmental factors, there's personality factors when we're talking about toddlers, right? And those things need to be taken into consideration. It's really important for us to identify all of these things, which brings us to the second key, which is having certainty. Certainty that the plan that you are following is actually going to work for your child. If your plan is not customized, if you have just this generic plan that you took online, or maybe a sleep consultant gave you, you're not going to feel certain that it's actually going to work for your child. If you are not certain that the approach that you are following is the right one for your child, you will not be consistent. And if you are inconsistent, you are obviously not going to get the results that you need. And so all these factors tie into one another. You need a customized plan in order to feel certain so that you can be consistent. And that's, the 3 keys to sleep education success. So why is it that everything you have tried before has not worked? Maybe you have read every single sleep blog you could find, you went into every single mom group on Facebook, you read every book, and maybe you even bought courses for sleep training, or at worst, hired a sleep educator, a sleep consultant, and have not had the success that you thought you were going to have. Well, there's a few key factors to that. The first thing is that sleep is an industry like any other, and in an industry, a lot of things are made to give you a temporary solution that keeps you coming back. The number one thing is the sleep apps. The sleep apps that you get to download on your phone, oftentimes for free, they're not meant to be solutions. They're meant to prompt you throughout the day to remind you that if your baby is not asleep at this time for this amount of time, you have failed somehow, making you more nervous at the end of the day and causing you to then be prompted to buy things that will never really serve as a permanent solution to keep you coming back for more, right? The books, the blogs, the articles, the groups, they're all well-intentioned, but none of it is customized to your child. And the truth is that most sleep consultants will give you a very small period of time with support, and the plans that they will give you are usually cried out. but they just changed the name of the child on the PDF, but it's a standard PDF. It's not customized to your child. Another reason why sleep training doesn't tend to work and why we use what we like to call sleep education is there's marked differences between sleep training and sleep education. The first thing is that sleep training is very strict and it is unflexible, whereas sleep education is meant to be fluid and flexible. Just looking at schedules, for example. In sleep training, schedules are very strict, almost military-like, whereas in sleep education, they are a fluid blueprint, right? In sleep training, your baby has to sleep in the crib. It's non-negotiable, and if you dare have him sleep anywhere else, you have ruined the work that you have put in. In sleep education, your child can sleep independently in their bed, but can also be held to sleep if you want to, right? If you want to get those cuddles with your child. The same is true with feeding to sleep. You've probably heard some sleep gurus online say that, feeding to sleep is this terrible thing. In sleep education, you can feed to sleep, but your child can also go to sleep without the feeding to sleep. You can use either or. And so why is it that we do not fail? We're very proud of saying we have a 100% success rate, and we'll do just about anything not to go to 99.9%. And it's because of the way our program is structured. Our program was structured specifically to ensure that we have a 100% success rate now in getting your child to sleep, but making sure that that's long-term and really making sure that we have transformed your journey through motherhood by the time that you are out of the program. And so the first thing is that, our programs are long-term, right? They're 6 months or 12 months. We do not do any shorter than that. And the reason is because we know that that is what it takes. That is what it takes to make sure that we give you the support that you deserve to have and the results that you need to have. It will not take 6 months for your child to learn how to sleep through the night, but there are sleep progressions along the way. There are developmental changes. And so we need to make sure that the good sleep that we give you is a permanent solution, not a temporary one. So in the Peace of Mind Parenting program, what we do is we give you a consultant that is assigned to you. So she knows you, she knows your child, she knows what works for your child and what doesn't, everything about their development and their health, as well as what your personal goals might be. And every sleep plan or breastfeeding plan or parenting plan is completely customized. We use over 25 different methods, and usually a sleep plan is made of multiple methods that are combined and stacked together really to create that perfect step-by-step approach that will work for your child. And then ultimately what happens is you have access to this consultant, from 9 to 5 by private message, which means you can ask questions, you can get support as you're implementing your sleep plan, and your consultant can keep track of how things are going and adjust the knob on the speed of the sleep plan or make customizations, tweaks to make sure that we're really getting to where we want to go as quickly as possible. We have office hours throughout the week. We have parenting classes throughout the week to make sure that while you're in the program with us, we assist you with everything else. Maybe you need help with, tackling the laundry. Maybe cooking for your family has taken over your day. Perhaps your own health has taken, a side turn. Maybe you have questions about teething, what to do when your child is sick, how to potty train your toddler. It doesn't really matter what it is. We have an app with over 400 hours of video on every parenting subject you could ever have a question about. So I want you to take a moment and to think about this really honestly. Since becoming a mother, have you put ambitions, goals, dreams, and desires on the back burner? Are there things that you loved or that you wanted to do for yourself that you have since put on the back burner because you are in the sacrifice mode of being a mother? And the truth is, as mothers, we would do anything for our kids. We would lay down our lives for our children, but nobody has asked you to do that today. My question is, are you willing to live for your children as well? You can't pour from an empty cup, and you do not have to choose every morning between being a present and purposeful parent or being the woman that you really are, the most happy, fulfilled, powerful version of yourself. You can be both. You can follow your dreams and ambitions and be fulfilled and be the mom that you've always wanted to be. And chances are you'll be a better mom if you are the happiest, most fulfilled version of yourself. So if you wake up every morning right now already tired, already thinking about when you'll be able to go to sleep, already overwhelmed at the idea of everything that you have to do today. Every time your child screams or has a tantrum or cries, you feel stress and anxiety sort of like squeeze your heart a little bit. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, your baby goes to sleep at 7 p.m. without a hitch, no crying, nothing at all. It's easy peasy. You put him in bed completely awake. You walk away, he smiles, he goes to sleep. You then proceed to have a great night with your husband. Maybe you guys have a good chat, a glass of wine. You talk about your goals and your dreams and share tidbits about the week. You go to sleep. You sleep through the night just as well as your husband next to you, maybe better. And you wake up in the morning and you actually feel refreshed. You feel energized. And as the day progresses, you don't feel like you're running after your day. You feel like you are ahead of your day. And so even if there are inconveniences or unexpected changes throughout your day, you are able and willing to handle it. And you have a beautiful day with your baby who also is not fussy, is not overtired, is not exhausted, and feeling sick the same way that you feel sick when you're tired. You really have those two options. And the only choice you have to make is, do I want to keep on struggling? Or do I want to get the help that I need, that I deserve, that I should have, so that I can lead the parenting journey that I truly want for myself?